Hello there, I'm Hari Zainuddin and you are now watching TVS News at 5. Now let's begin with our top stories for today. Romania is eyeing new cooperation with Sarawak that can benefit both ends of the bilateral relations in various aspects, says Ambassador of Romania Nineta Barbulescu. This includes culture, joint research, education and tourism to further strengthen Sarawak's capabilities in terms of economy, wealth of resources and culture.
And projects that in the end of the day eventually will benefit both the people of my country, Romania, and the people of Sarawak and Borneo at large. During my visit, I also had courtesy calls with ministers for education and for tourism to speak about opportunities of having more tourists from Malaysia to Romania and vice versa, of course, because any cooperation is a two-way.
Therefore, Nineta hopes that the bilateral relationship between the two countries can be strengthened through cooperation that can contribute to mutual prosperity. She said so after calling on to the Young Dipertua Negeri Tun Pahintri Abdul Taib Mahmud on Thursday. Meanwhile, the ambassador and head of the EU delegation to Malaysia, Michalis Rokas, also paid a visit to the governor of Sarawak. Also present during the courtesy visit was Deputy Minister in the Premier's Department, Law MA63 and State Federal Relations, Datuk Sharifah Hasida Sheikh Ahmad Ghazali.
A fishing excursion only to be tormented after her daughter Dermit Chagai was attacked by a crocodile and dragged into the water. On Wednesday, March 16, Dermit, accompanied by her mother and aunt, was fishing for shrimp in Sungai Telong, Suai Batunia, when the tragedy happened.
Batunia Fire Station Chief Rary Benji said the department received an emergency call regarding the tragedy at about 12:10 p.m.
Setiba di lokasi kejadian sekitar jam 1 petang tadi, pasukan bomba terus dibawa ke lokasi kejadian di mana mangsa memancing udang bersama ibu dan ibu saudaranya di tebing sungai yang terletak di Sungai Telong Suai. Mengikut cerita ibu mangsa, mereka bertiga mula pergi memancing pada jam 10 pagi. Kejadian itu berlaku selepas mereka berada di situ lebih kurang setengah jam. Ketika itu mereka sedang asik memancing apabila air tiba-tiba berkocak dan seekor buaya muncul daripada permukaan air dan terus membaham mangsa yang duduk selang 2 meter antara ibu dan ibu saudaranya. Mangsa terus diheret ke dalam sungai sehingga tidak kelihatan lagi.
During the time of the incident, the victim was described to be wearing a red t-shirt and black trousers. The search and rescue operation covers an area of 3 kilometers radius upstream and downstream of the river from where the incident took place. The search operations enter the second day, with no clues have been found at 5 p.m. press time.
The plot thickens in the missing case of Eric Chang. Kuching Police Chief Assistant Commissioner of Police Asmon Baja said the caretaker of the 4-year-old and her husband have been further remanded until March 24th.
The couple were initially remanded until Wednesday, March 16 by Kuching Magistrate Court under Section 31(1) of the Child Act 2001. On Sunday, the case had been reclassified as murder under Section 302 of the Penal Code. Eric Chang was reported missing by his mother since March 7 at the couple's house. Meanwhile, the 5th day of the search and rescue operation today focused along the Muara Tebas riverbanks and the inland area. The rescue team combed an area between 1 to 1.5 kilometers from the operation post. The multi-agency search team comprised of the Royal Malaysia Police, Fire and Rescue Department and its K9 unit, as well as the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency.
Kita segera harap anak dia, anak ni.
Anyam punya anyam saya jadi. Kanyok ke meja-meja. Alhamdulillah penetuk lah. So, kata orang minat, masih ada minat ibu aja.
Sidak tahu kita pemburu, sidak cemburu, tanda sidak sakit say I see you.
Saksikan hasil-hasil setiap Sabtu dan Ahad 12.15 tengah hari hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My Freeview.
Okey, ngajat ngalu temuai adalah satu lagi repertua yang dari perkataan ngajat ngalu temuai yang pun dah membawa masuk tarian menyambut kedatangan tetamu. Berdandi indah-indah sebenarnya hanya bukan satu repertua tari, tapi ia adalah salah satu lagu rakyat orang Iban. Hajat lesongnya dari di rumah panjangnya yang akan diikut sampai yang kita ada kini tu.
Ne dur bildik ne durak. Ne bir yaylakta ne bir kışlıkta gün yüzü görmedik.
Kurban oldum Allah'ım.
Yang kami faham pakai mask.
Jarak mesti at least 1 meter.
Wash hand frequently. Tak mestilah pakai facial mask.
Penjarakan sosial.
First of all, macam kita masuk mall kan, sini-sini kedai mesti scan.
Sentiasalah jaga doktor.
Kita jaga kita.
Kita jaga kita.
Kita jaga kita.
Kita jaga kita.
Welcome back to TVS News at 5. Now, the Sarawak Cultural Village, SCV, has finally opened its doors to welcome both domestic and international tourists, as Malaysia will enter the transition to endemic phase starting April 1st. This was confirmed by its Director of Sales, Marketing and Events, Zaini Zainuddin, as cases are now much more manageable prior to vaccination.
Kita telah melalui fasa yang kritikal di mana bila kita buka tutup mengikut keadaan semasa, MCO dan tak MCO, and then SOP memang telah disediakan. So kita dah ready by October last year, di mana SCV buka kepada pelancong, targeted only local dan pada November baru Semenanjung masuk. We are ready because SOP tiada perubahan. SOP tidak melihat orang. Oh, whether you coming from which country, or this is how we treat you. Tidak. SOP tetap standard. You masuk, you must be vaksin or booster, dimestikan masuk dan mengikut proses SOP yang kita ada. So we are ready. Endemic, we are ready. We open last year, 1st of October, after almost 2 years on off. So we are ready lah. We are ready. So far yang datang sini kita syukur alhamdulillah kita selamat.
Previously, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob have stated that the transition into the endemic phase is a strategic step to recover the country's economy that has been badly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Though such phase have a more lenient SOP, wearing face masks are still compulsory in public places. Premises are also allowed to operate according to their own business operating hour.
Now, as the Ramadan season is finally drawing closer, everyone is excited, especially as the Ramadan Bazaar is expected to return after 2 years. With that said, Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin highly encourages senior citizens to get the COVID-19 vaccination and booster jab for better self-protection.
In a tweet today by Khairi, he said that a vaccine is crucial, especially during the fasting month, where senior citizens are expected to perform Tarawih prayers at the mosque. Senior citizens who are unvaccinated or have yet to receive their booster jabs are highly at risk of contracting COVID-19. With that said, 105 COVID-19 deaths were reported yesterday. According to a graph posted on his Twitter account, the highest deaths recorded were from the unvaccinated group across every age level.
Congregational and Tarawih prayers without physical distancing will be allowed at all mosques and surah in the Federal Territories beginning April 1st. According to the Federal Territories Islamic Religious Department, or JAWI, this decision is in line with the country's transition to the endemic phase, which will also commence on April 1st. JAWI Director Dato' Muhammad Ajib Ismail said the matter is among 6 new rulings that have received the consent of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Al-Mustafa Billah Shah, apart from being based on the existing guidelines and standard operating procedures SOPs for activities at mosque and surau. In a statement today, he said congregants are encouraged to bring and utilize their own praying mats when praying at mosque and surau. Those who have obtained the COVID-19 immunization are authorized to enter mosque and surau regardless of their age. He added that breaking fast, more or supper, after Tarawih prayers and sahur or pre-dawn meal are also allowed in mosque and surau, and food is encouraged to be prepared in packages. Tadarus or reciting of Quran activities in mosque and surau are also allowed at any suitable time and in small groups. Ajib Ismail said, with this development, it is hoped that more congregants can enliven mosque and surau in the Federal Territories and continue to pray for the spread of COVID-19 to be stopped immediately and for Malaysia to continue to be protected by the Almighty. Now wrapping up the 5 p.m. news. The application for the Malaysian Family Student Device Package, specifically for students under bottom 40% income group or B40 families, will open from mid-April. A total of 400,000 students pursuing their tertiary studies under the Ministry of Higher Education would stand to benefit from the initiative.
Saya harap dapat disiapkan satu kaedah permohonan secara online bagi memudahkan urusan logistik, iaitu apabila permohonan-permohonan dalam bulan April sehingga bulan Mei dapat ditapis, maka fasa pertama roll out akan dilaksanakan seawal minggu pertama bulan Jun. Dan selepas itu, kerana kita pasti ada permohonan mungkin yang tidak lengkap, kes-kes rayuan, kes-kes tercicir, kerana kita melibatkan jumlah yang banyak, maka proses-proses rayuan perlu dilaksanakan selepasnya.
Meanwhile, students from the poor and B40 families whose parents earn not more than 4,850 ringgit a month can also apply for the package, which offers mobile devices and internet access which they can use for their studies.
Kita ingin memberi jaminan bahawasanya program ini akan melibatkan penggunaan peranti yang berkualiti setara atau lebih tinggi daripada spesifikasi yang ada dalam pasaran. Kementerian tidak akan berkompromi soal kualiti kerana peranti ini adalah untuk membantu pelajar-pelajar bagi membolehkan mereka menggunakan bagi melengkapkan urusan pembelajaran mereka. Maka kita telah menetapkan beberapa spesifikasi minimum, iaitu dan bukan seperti mana yang ada dalam pasaran tapi lebih baik.
In addition, Tan Sri Anwar Musa also suggested that 10% of the surplus devices from the Malaysian Family Student Device Package be given to other eligible students. The Malaysia package was announced during the tabling of the Budget 2022 in October last year, in line with the government's aspiration to ensure that the people, especially IPT students, can use the necessary devices and enjoy internet access at a reasonable cost.
And that concludes TVS News at 5. Now I'm Hari Zainuddin. It's been a pleasure.